The consumer protection firm helps residents fight all of those unwanted phone calls. Billy Howard is here to tell us what they do to help and how you may be able to get some money along the way. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've been chatting away here. I had no idea that there was a firm like yours, that this is specifically what you guys are doing. Explain first, I guess, because I feel like we've heard of this term a lot, right? But what is an actual robocall? What classifies it as a robocall?
Okay. So it's illegal to call any cell phone with an auto dialer, and that's what all the banks and debt collectors, mortgage companies, they all use an
automated voice. So there's not an actual person on the phone.
It's a text, it's a pre-recorded message, or it's an auto-dialed call, and typically when you answer there's a pause and then somebody comes on. So if you have one of those, you are entitled up to $1,500 for every single unwanted call or a call made without your consent.
Now, if it happens first, you have to legally let them know that first time? Well, I guess if it's an automated call, how do you do that?
Right. It's difficult. It's an automatic violation if they don't have your permission to begin with. And so typically they get that from an application for, a credit card. But most of these companies these days are not getting your permission. So the first call is illegal. And then you have the right to tell a debt collector or bank, if you have given your telephone number, to stop calling.
Are you seeing an uptick in these numbers? I mean, how often is this being done?
It is being done 10 million times per day by these companies. They can robo-dial 10 million times for less than a penny. Robocalls are now the #1 consumer complaint in America. Last year, there was reported almost 5 million unwanted phone calls, and those are just the people that knew that there's a law out there to complain about.
And you were saying that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions, is that a lot of people just still don't know that it's illegal. They're not allowed to be doing this.
Right. A lot of people think, well, I owe these people money, so I guess they can call me, but that's not true. If you owe money to somebody, they may have the right to call you, but you have the right to say, stop calling. And if you do tell them to stop calling and they call like all these companies do, then call me, because it's illegal and you can be entitled up to $1,500 per call.
So kind of explain how this process works, because I'm thinking, most people would think they have these numbers that are calling. We see them now on our cell phones, right? It's pretty easy to identify, wait a minute, I don't know that number. How do you actually, it seems like a pretty big feat to then tackle some of these big companies, multi-million-dollar companies.
Those nice multi-million-dollar companies save all their telephone numbers, and sometimes they don't want to give it to you, but judges make them. So it is not going to be a mystery how many times they called you or what number they called, because we can get the information from them.
So the records are pretty easy to find.
And they're right here on your phone also, so yeah.
All right. What's your take-home message for people watching today? How do you know when to actually call your team? I mean, how do you know to get that process started?
So if you think you're being harassed by a debt collector, then you probably are. And Florida has a wonderful law that allows you not only $1,500 per call, but you can get emotional damages, punitive damages, and the other side has to pay your attorney fees.
Wow.
So if you get a call from these guys, you don't want a phone call, say, hey, stop calling, or something like, don't call me, I'll call you. And if they call you after that, call me.
All right. You say debt collectors. Is that the majority of the issue that's going on, the repeat offenders?
It's the debt collection industry, and that is banks, mortgage companies, credit card companies, and the same applies to telemarketers. Text messages, they must have your consent to call or text or give you a pre-recorded message, or it's up to $1,500 for every one of those calls.
All right. Well, if people have questions, I'd imagine that you would welcome them to call your office. Again, this is something that I think a lot of people dealing with, tired of, and you say, you know what, give us a call. Let's see if we can help, correct?
Yeah, let's fight back, and you can get $1,500 per call.
That's crazy. All right. Well, there's the number. There's the website to find out more. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay.
Thank you
so much.